Hey guys, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are once again talking about Miraculous, and more specifically, we are going to be talking about two of the Greek Miraculouses, Gemini, the twins, and Pisces, the twin fish. Both of these Miraculouses are kind of hard to necessarily place on what their powers could be. However, realizing recently that there are actually quite a few Miraculous that actually share abilities just within or similar abilities just within the main Miraculous, actually made me realize that if these two get the same powers, it's really not that much of a shock. Now, obviously, Pisces is a little bit more strong than Gemini at the current time because of the fact that Pisces would be able to go underwater at any time, while Gemini would not. So we would have to balance them out when we actually get these two Miraculouses, but the idea of them being able to clone themselves is absolutely a completely understandable idea to eventually get. Another possibility for Pisces, though, is that perhaps instead they create a fish ally as their to help them out instead of a complete duplicate of themselves. But either way, it's still going to be kind of a cool idea. Now, what do I want to see for the weapons of these characters? Well, for Pisces, I'm kind of imagining a staff or a trident because of the fact that the idea of fish is going to be highly prevalent. And the staff would have each side would have a fish head on the end that is really good for stabbing. But the weapon for Gemini is a bit harder to pin down. However, I am partial to thinking that it could be a twin whip, which is basically just a whip that has two cords instead of one. But whatever the case is, these two powers should both have something to do with the idea of twins. Because that's their whole point. Now, the next thing to decide is who exactly is going to be getting these Miraculous. Now, we know that eventually all of our friends in Miraculous are going to be getting a Miraculous. We've listed off several times every single person that's going to be getting a Miraculous, except for we've removed Undine to now be getting Aquarius later on. But all of the classmates of Marinette and Adrian will be getting a Miraculous, on top of the fact that Kagami, Luca, and Mark will also be getting their Miraculouses. So that means that these two Miraculouses have to go to someone at some point. And I'm very much thinking that these two Miraculouses will be going to Alya's two little sisters that are the twins. I always forget their names, so please don't. So if you guys remember them, then definitely please send me artwork of them as these characters because that would be really awesome. But the thing is that with these characters, as well as eventually Chris and Manal, is that when they eventually do get their Miraculouses, this has to happen much later in the series, probably all the way in season 20, due to the fact that it appears that Chris was not able to use a Miraculous later down the line because he didn't really have anything on him except for his mask. So I don't really know exactly what's going to be happening with him, but it's definitely something to just be aware of and definitely realize that because of the fact that these two twins had the ability in their normal selves, it's also a possibility through that because of the fact that every single Miraculous holder that we've seen so far, their power as an akumatized victim was very similar to their power as a Miraculous user. such as the ability for Alia being able to, her superpower being Reina Rouge was creating illusions, while her power as um, uh, while her power as Lady Wi-Fi, while didn't necessarily revolve around illusions as much, it did have some illusion concepts throughout the entire thing. So, yeah, that's something to be mindful of. And for Bubbler to become Carapace, it's a bit different, but it's a similar situation to being able to create a bubble that does protect somebody, even if it's not really meant to protect somebody. It's meant to harm them as um, when he was the Bubbler. But either way, both forms creates a bubble to protect somebody. And of course, for Queen Bee, we had her be when she was Antibug. Her power was very similar to Ladybug, however, it was meant to harm instead of to create. And again, there are similar things throughout the rest of them. I'm not. I will eventually go into detail about each of them, but considering the fact that these have been traits throughout the entire series, I am 100% willing to say that at this moment, Ladybug, well, Ladybug will give the Miraculous to the twins, these two Miraculous to the twins eventually, and they'll be able to use their Miraculouses to clone themselves, like how they did in Sapides. However, it's also possible that they'll be getting a different power eventually, each one separately, that will actually incline what their actual powers will be, and maybe we'll see something different in the future. But I don't know. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below if you guys think that what you think of these two Miraculouses. I'm not 100% certain what the names of their powers will be, but I do think that they do have some idea of, like, maybe something along the lines of twinning or something like that. But anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you're new, please subscribe and ring that notification bell because we do a lot of videos like this quite often. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on.